Hi y'all, today is day 3 of 6.4. We are finding inverses algebraically. Today there will be a few more examples than usual, so your video will be a little bit longer, but that means our content is, I don't want to say harder, but it is a little bit harder. So I do need you to actually watch the examples, perhaps write them down, so you can do your homework once you need to. Your essential question says, how do you find the inverses of exponential functions algebraically? All right, we have a couple of steps, 5 to be exact, that you have to use to solve these problems. If you write nothing else down from this video, I would pause and write this down now. I'm going to talk through them quickly and then move on to the examples. The first one, you're going to change f of x to y. This one you don't necessarily have to do if the equation already has y equals something, but if it has f of x equals, you should change it to y. Your second step, just flip x and y. So make your x a y, make your y an x. Yes. The third is rearrange to get a to the power of b log of x or natural log of x by itself. The fourth one is you're going to convert forms. So if you had log b of x to start with, you're going to move to b to the power of x equals y. If you had b to the power of x, you're going to move to log base b of x. If you had the natural log of x, you're going to move e to the power of x. If you have e to the power of x, you're going to move to natural log of x. The last step is to rearrange your equation and get y by itself. All right, we're going to look at our first equation. We have y equals the natural log of -2. My first step from our last video said to change f of x to y. So we're going to have y equals the natural log of x minus 2. Now once we've done that, we need to switch our x and our y. So we need to take this value and flip-flop them. So we're going to get x equals the natural log y minus 2. Again, if we had a natural log of x, we want to get it by itself first, and then we're going to change it into e to the power of x. So the first thing I have to do is get rid of that -2. So I'm going to start by adding 2 to both sides, because I want my natural log to be by itself before I do anything else. So I really have x plus 2 equals the natural log of y. Then we have to rearrange it. So again, we're going to go from natural log version to e version. In order to do that, I'm going to raise both sides to the power of e. So I have e, let's see if my pen will work. Yeah, there we go. We have e to the power of x plus 2 equals e to the power of natural log of y. Now remember the e and the natural log cancel each other out. So these two go away. I'm really left with y, or e to the power of x plus 2 equals y. Again, you can rewrite this as y equals e to the power of x plus 2. And this is going to be your inverse. We got y by itself, so we're actually done. All right, let's look at our second one. We have f of x equals log base 6 of x minus 9. Again, my first step is to get rid of f of x. So we're going to have y equals log base 6 of x minus 9. And then we're going to flip our x and our y's. So we want to move this thing, and we're going to flip-flop them. So we're going to have x equals log base 6 of y minus 9. Now right now, we have log base 6 by itself. There's nothing being added on the end here. If it had like a plus 2 or a minus 3, or it had like a number out front in front of my log, then we would want to move those first. But since none of those things exist right now, we can rewrite this as, remember you want to go from log b of x to b to the power of x. So when I do this, remember we're going to do our little circly thing. So you want to go 6, x, and then back to this guy. So I'm going to do 6 to the power of x equals y minus 9. Now at this point I want to get y by itself, so I'm going to add 9 to both sides. And we get 6 to the power of x plus 9 equals y. Alright, so again, this is our answer. Now I think the step where people get stuck is really this one here where they have to rewrite it. As a reminder, if we do a to the power of b equals c, we can rewrite that as log base A of C equals B. So if you're like, yo, Miss Sylvester, that circle thing confuses me, or my equation's written in a different order, you can use these two equations to help you rewrite things. All right, our third example is f of x equals 10 to the power of x plus 7. Again, my first step is to get rid of my f of x, so we're going to have y equals 10 to the power of x plus 7. My next step is I have to flip my x's and my y's. So here's my y, here's my x. We're going to flip-flop them. And when I do that, we get x equals 10 to the power of y plus 7. Now I need that 10 to the power of y by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 7 from both sides. And when I do that, I get x minus 7 equals 10 to the power of y. Again, we're going to rewrite it so it's in log form. This will be my base, and then we're coming back this way. So we're going to do log base 10 of x minus 7 equals y. And this is your final answer. We have y by itself, so we're good to go. Remember, you could also write this as log of x minus 7 equals y. Now, technically, because we did x minus 7 together, I believe it is in parentheses, so I would put it in parentheses. Remember, log base 10 and your just your log without a base, they're the same thing. So either of those answers would be good. All right, my last one, we have f of x equals 3 to the power of x plus 2. Again, my first step, always get rid of f of x. So we have y equals 3 to the power of x plus 2. And then we're going to flip-flop our x's and our y's. So we have y here, we have x, and we need to change their positions. So we have x equals 3 to the power of y plus 2. Now my 3 to the power of something is already by itself, so we're going to rewrite this in log form, going back this way. So we're going to do log base 3 of x equals y plus 2. Now because x is by itself, it's technically in parentheses there. Then we have that plus 2 on the end, and we want to get y alone, so we're going to go ahead and subtract 2 from both sides. When we do that, we get log base 3 of x minus 2 equals y. And this will be your final answer. All right, thank you for watching. You are going to go ahead and watch, or not watch, but answer your notes check questions right now, and then from there you will move on to your homework. If you have questions about this, if you need help, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. All right, thanks again for watching.